Okay, Shalom, Shalom, call halal, Yahbashim, Yahshabashim, Wakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, salutations to the elect. Drop a quick video right quick. Meditating on one of the testimonies one of the brothers told me last week. Say the brother name, but this brother, he got 4 kids. One of them is kind of away at school and 3 of them home. The oldest one away. And, college shit or whatever. And, and this, just to show you how fucked up this world getting to where, like, these kids, man, if a brother's got kids, wish you the best, or have they, hope they turn out, copacetic. But, this truth is random and rare to the point where you might forget, you might think like, well, you might have the mentality that I'm in the truth. I believe in the Lord, the name. My kids do. Because they part of me, so they gonna see shit how I see it. I ain't give birth to no fucking 2/3 or infidel, non-believer. But a lot of times, that'll be the case. The children, in the Apocrypha, you say, it's better to have no children than to have them that are ungodly. Then, the rebellious son was put down too. So, a lot of times, the kids, they just agree with the truth because they know that's something that make you happy. They might be young, like 9, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, shit like that. But once they reach a certain age, it'll really kind of tell. And, sometimes, you force it, and, do this, do that. But, when they get older, because this world, that Babylon juice is something serious. In Ezekiel 37, the Lord said, I will bring you out of your graves and you shall know I'm the Lord. Because it's shit we walked away from. Different lifestyles and shit we was into. We know we ain't just repent up to us. It was a heavy spirit on us. So with these children, and your children, they could, shit have its balance. They might have to go through a rough patch, then they might come to the truth. Because it worked like that sometimes. Or they might just be straight up demons. But the scripture said that right eye offend thee, cut it off. But anyway, this brother, I think his kids got like unruly or some shit, disrespectful. And he's not no deadbeat, He been around from day one. Never took a break, nothing. Always, from delivery room, all kinds of shit. Stand up father. So he called himself punishing the kids. So what he did was he turned their phones off. And man, why the fuck he do that? So like, once he turned their phones off, the youngest one, I think she probably like 19. So not the middle one, like maybe like 19, 20. Then the boy, he like 17. Then the other girl probably like 22, 23. But anyway, the middle one, yelled at him type shit. was shouting, because you know these kids, like these new fucking Gen Zs with these gadgets, man, you can't fucking take away their gadgets, because they don't, you know, they basically MOTB kids, so to say, because the outside world is not, they can't identify with that. I mean, they in the flesh. They get up, walk around, or do little errands or whatever, go to school or some shit, but like, they can't identify with surviving without, you know, gadgets, you know, tablets and phones and shit like that. So that was devastating to them. So she put her hands on them, the other two jumped in type shit. You know, like really trying to like hurt him. But he ain't fight back fully like he could have. But he did call the cops and get him arrested. You know. And the charges wound up being dropped. He ain't want to press charges. But you know what's crazy out of all this shit is? When they got out, they never apologized, you know. They ran up to the mother and said, look, you got a choice to make. It's either us or him. And I'm like, damn, that's cold. They ain't even apologize. What the fuck? And then, you know, you gotta live around these type people. Then, you know, these your kids, but these, like, you know, at some point, you know what I mean, it's like, yo, what the Lord say, a man's foes, Matthew 10:34, a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Fuck a nigga in the street trying to take you out, you know. Your own, I think it was an incident where a father took the game or some shit like that, and he went in the room, got his gun and shot and killed him. Now, thank God the brother don't have a weapon, because that possibly could have happened. You know, depend on the Lord's will, of course. You know, but I was telling him, like, yo, man, you gotta be careful, because, like, they been hated your ass, but, because I'm kind of familiar with, you know, how shit transpired, you know, and they ain't apologized, and, you know what I mean, said, look, it's either, then the wife, you would think, like, the wife, like, yo, I knew, like, we've been together way before these motherfuckers can't start coming out the womb. You would think at the end of the day, you gonna take my side. But she kind of like, she tried to play neutral or whatever, but she was siding with the kids. And, you know, I ain't got no kids, but like, when you think like, yo, because kids fuck shit up, you know, whatever you got going in your life, whatever you had plans, whatever goals you had, whether, you know, carnal, spiritual, health-wise, motherfucking kids, especially if you want to, like, do right, good dad type, super dad shit, man, the kids are, one of them motherfuckers are ruining all that shit. You know what I mean? You become the sacrifice to make sure they good, or to give them what you didn't have, and you could try your best. Hey, look at 50 Cent's son, Marquise. And he fucking rich. his son's still like, fuck you, nigga. And he's like, stand up dads. And I ain't talking about no deadbeat shit. And it's like, yo, you know what I mean? I'll beat, I'll take you out, motherfucker. Like, I hate you. I'll put hands on you, And then it's like you gotta be around these people. It's like the cold shoulder. That's why that family shit, man. Jeremiah 6:2, thou shalt not take thee a wife. Thou shalt not have sons or daughters in this place. And that was old Babylon. Because these kids is turning out to be fucking super demons. I mean, when I came up in the 90s, niggas was wicked, but, we had some morals and shit. The scriptures also say he who strike his parents, his mother or father shall die. You can't strike your mother and father. You invite a curse upon yourself. Also, honor thy father and mother, so thy days shall be long upon the earth. I told him, like, yo, man, I put a curse on the motherfuckers if they wasn't your kids, man. But I ain't gonna do that because, the Lord actually ride out, So I just kind of stay out of it on that note. But, man, it's like, yo, you kind of like, you bust your ass, working double jobs, do all this shit for the fam, the kids, just for them to grow up. And these are fathers. Imagine a stepfather. You know what I'm saying? Imagine a stepfather, like, you like that shit, man. And these kids growing up saying, like, they dad that been near the whole time, 10 toes down, supportive father, just like, yo, fuck you, Then your wife is like, damn, that shit, with me, like, I'm a like analytical type brother. That shit will take that, man. That shit will just, man. I'm like, yo, bro, you might just have to abort mission. Fuck the wife, the kids, everybody. Everybody grown anyway, except one. I think the last one, 17. Like, yo, y'all motherfuckers grown. Like, y'all don't listen to me anyway. Like, the wife, she ain't, like, with you, like, as, like, a wife should be. So, like, it's like, yo, man, I'm getting a divorce. I'm getting the fuck up out of here. Fuck everybody. And just start all over with a clean slate. For real. Because, shit, man. But hey, that's what this basically world coming to, And it's like, yo, you start a family, you had the joy of them being small. Not really, because even when they small, they had daycares, babysitters and shit, working a lot, so you don't see them, you don't get to enjoy the kids like that, even when they're small. This world got influence, especially you in the truth. You know what I mean? Like the hatred and the wickedness might even come even harder. Especially you being in the truth. Because they probably, being in the truth, people of this world just got it out for you even more. they find out you in the truth. So that shit crazy. But you know, the people you gave everything up for, put your life on pause, sacrificed for, gave everything you had. You know, sacrifice your health to provide for, just for them motherfuckers to get older. Try to hurt you, might be try to take you out, say fuck you, slap you, maybe spit on you. This shit crazy, man. Shit crazy. You know? Then for your wife to be like trying to be neutral, she that not rebuke them or nothing. So, and you know, we put on this earth to reproduce. You know? Like, but, you know, what the fucking sense of living, like, you can't have kids, kinda. You know, we, you know, the truth and all that, we understand that, but, like, because you reach, you know, people say that no kids shit, because I'm 40, right? I don't have no children. But at times I feel that shit, though, of not, you know what I mean, having, like, at least one, like, a little man or some shit somewhere that I could be, like, feel that fatherly, you know what I mean? A lot of people tell me, man, you'll be a great father. You'll be a good father. But, you know, that is not good. Man shall be alone. So, after a while, you like, yo, like, well, what the fuck am I doing here type shit. Like, I ain't saying, you know, delete yourself or nothing like that, but like, without family, like your immediate family, like, you know what I mean? Like a wife, because that's what, at the end of the day, that's what motherfuckers live for. You know what I mean? People do, you know, find a woman, have a, you know, have a son, a daughter. You know what I mean? That's, you know, that's heaven for most people. You know, they be like, all right, you know, that's what I wanted out of life. That's, you know, how most people is. I got my wife, you know what I mean? I got my 2 sons and a daughter, you know. Life is great, you know, in their mind. But, shit, man. Shit not turning out like that, especially when they get older and go to high school. Man, the public school system, I mean, now you got the internet and the phones and all that, but like, once they hit like high school and shit like that, it's over, man. Like, once they get like 13 and like, because what's high school, 14, 9th grade? Once they hit, like, they call it jumping off the porch. And they ain't really like shit you could do, like, you know what I mean? Put up some prayers or whatever, but like, the control you thought you had, or like, you gonna kill yourself, like stress yourself out trying to keep up with them. You know what I mean? He steal his first car, he get his first girl pregnant, or he get a, you know, this motherfucker, like, and that's just one child. Like, you got like 2, 3, 4. When they start getting in, you know what I mean, doing shit and all that shit, you gotta like, man, that shit hell. That shit hell. And you know, people like, oh, you talking about stepping away, man. Listen, the Lord told Abraham to send off the Egyptian Hagar and Ishmael because they wasn't part of the promise. The Lord wasn't dealing with them. He gave them a little severance package and sent their ass on their way. So what you gonna say? Abraham was a deadbeat dad? Listen, if your right hand offends you, cut it off. Them kids get older, man. They turn into homos, lesbos, niggas, and hoes. Really. Because that's what this fucking world, the curses, that's what this world got to offer. You know, you'll be lucky if, you know what I mean, they turn out like halfway decent as far as the world go. Especially being Jake with the curses on you. With a woman that's not with your program and shit like that. You know, after a certain age, man, it's like, yo, it's been a broken home. Shit been fucked up from the jump. Then they start getting into shit, doing shit. You might get a call. Yeah, we got your son at the juvenile detention center. Or like he start doing nigga shit. He get on this path of a fucking, or they might just see, when coming up, I'm about to end this, but coming up, our parents just had to worry about us being in the streets, like turning into thugs and shit like that. And the girls being hoes. But now, that sodomite spirit, that lesbian spirit is heavy. So now you gotta really try to, you know, prevent that. Then they got laws and shit. The transformer shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, my son might turn into a fucking transformer or a sodomite or a street nigga. You know what I mean? And then if it's a stepson, just forget about it. Cause he like, man, you ain't my father anyway. Fuck you, nigga. That's his, and he probably felt like that for half of his fucking life. So like, this shit is crazy, man. This shit is crazy. But like, yo, when you take away the family, the nuclear family from life, and that's why the Lord just got to bomb this shit. Because once you take the nuclear family away from life, it's like, yo, and it ain't really like, I mean, you can find shit to do, but like, as you get older, this shit just gonna be like, become stressful as fuck. Because that's what's, you know, be fruitful and multiply. That shit is programmed in us to do that. You know, that's why you get horny like that. You know, wake up with morning wood and all that shit like that. It's naturally in us to seek the opposite gender and replicate ourselves. But this fucked up world, this shit is just sad, bro. Sad. But hey, man, with that, man, shalom, man. Meditate on that. Hold it down. Shalom. Y'all about to say something like that.